Coming in hot, back from Tulsa, ladies and gentlemen. We've got one of our own from the Cliff Freeman Group, the west side of our coverage in Johnson County. She's a certified life coach and much, much more. Host of her own podcast. You're going to meet her next, Diana Roberts, right here on Cliff's Note. Real estate agents, are you struggling with the day-to-day grind, dialing for dollars, putting in hours of floor time with little to show for it? Are you looking for tips, tricks, and tactics to accelerate your career as an agent that will have you closing more homes, working with more clients, and earning more money than ever before? Hi, my name's Cliff Freeman, and I've spent the past 2 decades of my real estate career running one of the top brokerages in DFW and personally coaching over 1,000 high-performing real estate professionals across North America. I created this podcast to share the strategies and tactics you need to explode your real estate business. I guarantee it. Fulfilling those guarantees like we always do. We're ready now. Are you sure this guy is the same one in the intro, C3? What's the dope with the hair here, man?
I don't know. You tell me what's up with the hair.
Well, you never told me that if you stick your fingers in an electrical socket, this stuff would happen.
It's like the guy from Home Alone where he grabs the faucet in the basement downstairs.
Yeah?
And his hair lights on fire and, he goes.
Is that a fire?
No, could be.
Could be, huh?
Could be.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Something happened. It must have been that Tulsa water did it to me.
Yeah.
You think?
It must have been something in the air.
Look at this Irish lass on the left side here.
Hello.
Actually, she's not Irish. Let's see if you can guess. Give us a little bit of your native language here.
Wie geht es dir?
Anybody catch that?
I didn't know what she said.
It's West Fort Worth talk after a few beers.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, no, actually Germany,
Yes.
right? We were
Yes.
just talking before the show. Didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Fluent in German.
Yes,
You were there for 11 years.
11 years.
That is fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, Diana Roberts here to my left, and of course, co-host C3 also to my left. And Diana, I'm super excited. You've been with our group for, over a year now.
I think so.
Yes,
We're right over
and we had no idea when we met that you have all of the talent and all the things going on that you do until you admitted over lunch that you were ADHD, right? So you've always got to have your hand in a bunch of different pots, stirring
do.
things around. And we're going to talk about a lot of the things that you're involved in. It's amazing. You are quite to balance everything, and you're a life coach on top of that.
Yes. Yes.
Just certified recently, right?
Yeah. Well, I've been certified. I just launched it actually.
Okay.
I put it off on the side for a little bit so I could get my real estate. Still working the real estate.
Right. So, I don't even know where to start here because there's so many things. Tell us a little bit. Let's go back and, we have a lot of guests here that are very impressive, and it's always, I think the audience always appreciates it when we go back and sort of look at their journey to where they are. The road to get here has not always been a smooth 4-lane highway, has it?
No.
And you've learned so much in the few years that you've been on the planet here. Tell us a little bit about how you grew up, and I'd like to talk about some of the things that you feel like really formed who you are.
Oh gosh. Okay. So a lot of things that formed who I was my parents. My dad was Air Force. My mom was an entrepreneur, basically. She worked for the military, worked for the, I think he was the first sergeant, or he was head up. I can't remember exactly his title. I just know that she learned all of her tech stuff just in that field. And then when we left Germany and moved back to the States, she started a 6-figure career. And she was an entrepreneur. So a lot of what I do in my work ethics and all of the things that I like to dabble into are a lot from my mom.
So that's where that DNA gene, that entrepreneurial DNA gene, got dropped on you.
Yes.
Because
yes.
your dad was not an entrepreneur. He was in the Air Force.
Right.
Right. Now, what did he do? What was he doing in the Air Force?
He was a carpenter, and
wow.
He worked on like the aircraft, like with the aircrafts too at some point, I feel like, as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
And so that's what took you guys overseas,
yes.
which is why you were actually in Germany through your youth. And you attended not an American school, but a German school?
I did, yes. Both my sister and I, we attended German school.
How was that different? Was it?
Oh, it was so different. For me, I was still mostly, speaking I spoke English mostly, and here comes some of the translation.
Right.
I spoke English mostly when I was in the house, but then once I started German school, it was a different language, so I was having to learn a different language at the age. I think I started German school at 7 or 7.5. I was almost 8. And it was definitely challenging, and the school was so different. The way that it's mapped out, the way that they have their schedule is completely different than what it is here, and their education is phenomenal.
So how many languages did you learn growing up?
I learned, so I was going into French. I was trying to get French down as well, but I don't remember any of the French.
A whole different.
Yeah, it was
yeah. So it is. It's a whole different language. And so at 17, you guys, did you move to Chula Vista then? Is that when you moved? And
well, I moved to San Diego.
San Diego.
Yes,
okay.
I moved to San Diego first, but then we ended up heading into Chula Vista area with my dad.
Uh-huh.
And then I graduated high school in Chula Vista.
Okay. What happens after high school?
I wanted to go to school, so I moved to Texas. My mom was in Texas, my dad was in California. And so I moved to Texas to be with my mom and to go to school here. And then I ended up getting married.
Oh, small minor detail.
Yeah,
right?
small minor detail.
Yeah.
And moved back to California because he was in the Navy. So lived in California again for a little bit, and then came back to Texas, and here I've been since.
And you planted your family in Johnson County,
I did.
Joshua, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
how did that sort of get on your radar?
Well, my mom, when she moved to Texas, she was in Cleburne. So she was already there. A lot of my family was already there. So that's where I kind of ended up when I moved here.
Yeah, and for those of you watching, just for their benefit, how many people live in Joshua? How big is it?
Oh, goodness. So it's smaller than Burleson. Oh, I looked this up too. You're giving me a good one. And now I can't remember the number. So I think it was roughly around 10 or so, maybe. It's not very big. It's not very big.
10 people?
No, 10,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 people is
I
quite
think
a
a little
small
less
number.
than that, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I cannot remember
Right.
off the top of my head.
Right,
You
right.
got me. I wish I had my phone now.
That's okay. We'll verify. We'll go through with the fact checking after the show here. No
Yes.
problem. And so, in a small community like that, you have really made quite a splash in your county as well.
Yes.
You have how many podcasts do you do?
I have 6. Well, I host 2, and then I'm a co-host on one other one, which is 3 times a week. And then
Okay.
I co-host. Well, then I'm sorry. I host 3 now because I just launched and started back with the Beyond the Crown for our girls.
Okay, let's start
Yes.
with the first one that you started with.
Okay.
Which one was that?
So it was Hybrid Life with where I got my certification through Greg, and then I started my own. I branched off on my own and wanted to start my own positivity toolbox, which that's the name of my podcast.
Okay.
And I absolutely love it because it just really promotes positivity into our lives and gives you the tools to continue to stay with a positive mindset.
Okay, Positivity Toolbox.
Yes.
So if I hear that title, it sounds to me like I can tune in and pick up some nuggets and maybe some things that I can apply in my life. Give me some highlights. What are some things that have really, you think, had an impact on your listeners that you talk about?
So I would think that it's just understanding the difference between a negative vocabulary and a positive vocabulary. I really touch on that a lot. I say vocabulary is everything, and it really is. If you want your day to start off right, you need to wake up, be happy you're awake, be joyful. I have my workout clothes that I put next to me. So I just really input a lot of what I do throughout my daily life or in my daily day, right? To be able to shine on that, on how I keep that vocabulary going. A lot of it's what you're doing, it's activity wise. It's also, what you're saying to yourself. So saying your gratefuls every morning, knowing what you're grateful for, knowing what your purpose is and what your passion is, and having that be what starts your day and continues through your day.
So give us some examples. Give us some examples of like maybe negative self-talk or negative
absolutely.
talk, and then how you turn that into, words, vocabulary that is going to make your day better.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so one of them that I say on my show is, so instead of saying depressed, because depression really, I feel, started a lot more, and there's a lot of, the statistics on suicides and things of that nature, and mental health issues have really been a big issue, and that's why I wanted to start my podcast to begin with. So just recognizing the fact of what our society is going through right now, and understanding that they need to change that mindset. So by saying, instead of saying depressed, say calm before action, which is actually something that I got from Expert Advisory Boot Camp, by the way, which I loved, and I've been taking it with me every day. But I did tell them to take depression out of your vocabulary. Say that I am happy, I'm joyful, I'm grateful. Think about the things that you do have, not that you don't have. And then another vocabulary word that I like to say is, for myself, is instead of saying you're busy all the time, say you're productive.
Okay.
You're being
I
productive.
love that one.
Yeah, me too.
And that's really important in real estate, because you can be very busy
yeah.
in this business and not be productive.
That's very true.
Not be doing dollar productive activities, right?
Yes.
So you mentioned that the boot camp. This is the NAEA, National Association of Expert Advisors boot camp, the company that I coached for about 8 years, and Jay Kender, Mike Reese, and of course our own Wally Bressler is one of the
awesome.
instructors there. Thank you. Yes, Wally, kudos. He's one
great.
of our coaches on our team and a dear friend of ours. So what were they talking about? So they were going over empowering language there?
Absolutely,
at the
yeah.
boot camp? Okay.
Yeah, it was so cool, because when I was listening to them, I was like, oh my gosh, it's like I'm listening to my podcast almost. In the beginning. It started with Kitchens, his first name.
John
Kitchens,
yeah.
yes. It started with John Kitchens, and he's a life coach, I believe too, or a business coach as well.
Yes.
And the insight that he had, and a lot of the stuff that he brought to the table, was things that I was saying, or things that I had already incorporated, or some new stuff and new material that I had not incorporated yet. So now it's so good that us coaches were able to give each other a lot of other stuff that you can do as well, because you're going to meet different people than I'm going to meet, right? That we can touch. Like everybody, I feel like everybody that comes or even listens to my podcast, and everybody that comes into my circle or comes into wherever I'm at is present with me, right? I feel like there's a reason behind that, and so I always give that purpose when I meet somebody new.
Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people get into real estate not necessarily realizing how much mindset is a part of their success. And as a life coach, you're able to influence a lot of what people think. And it really is, as ye think, so ye goeth, right? Or whatever, I forget what the exact quote is there, but it's like garbage in, garbage out kind of thing.
Yes.
And we really do, we're sort of programmed. Once we hit a certain age, all we hear is don't do this, don't do that. It's not do this, do that. It's more about the negative, right? The don't put your hand on the hot stove, otherwise it'll burn, that kind of thing. And so we become conditioned and start to tell ourselves, bad self-talk and that sort of thing.
Like we're not good enough, or how am I going to be able to accomplish this, without even trying first, without even without even getting up and saying, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to just go and do it. And that's kind of some of the stuff that I instill in that show.
Yeah, limiting beliefs and those things. And when you said gratitude earlier, that's the thing that cancels out fear, right? And a lot of people are afraid about making big decisions. And by the way, if you don't learn how to make big decisions in life, you're not going to get very far.
No.
Because it's those moments where you're making those big decisions that determine your destiny ultimately.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? And so being able to do that, and the fear goes away once you start. Tony Robbins, we love Tony, says that once you start the momentum, the action, then the fear subsides. It actually goes away. When you're in it, when it's present, it's only when it's in your future are you scared of it, but not when you're present there, when you're in it.
Yes.
So as a life coach, what sort of outcomes do you seek to help people with? What are typically the people that you coach or would like to coach? What sort of things are you able to help them with?
Just being able to live your best life. Like that's what my Mind Over Moons is. It's basically, so the reason I came up with that name is because for so many moons we've been taught a language and symbols to have gotten us out of infancy through adolescence and through adulthood, right? And so I got a little bit of this from Fifth Agreements, which is awesome because it definitely hits with where I'm going with Mind Over Moons. And basically it's being able to take a lot of that language and the symbols that you've learned from the past and be able to break out of that, because a lot of times we get complacent, we get comfortable, we don't know how to excel, we don't know how to live our best life, right? We question ourselves all the time. We don't know how to have the right tools or have the right direction. We don't know how to get it out of our heads sometimes, especially in society now. Society, we're so busy. We're going and moving 24 hours, like 24 hours a day. We're just constantly going. The brain is constantly firing, and we don't know how to slow it down. So I want those that need to slow down, that would like to start really focusing on what their purpose and what their life goals are, and really start implementing it.
You know, you're so right. If you're on social media for 10 minutes, you take in more information than we used to do in a whole day when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Back when we drank out of fire hoses, and not fire hoses.
Fire hoses, water hoses.
Yeah.
Garden hoses, yeah.
Now you go into restaurants in New York and somebody
Still
ordered,
sparkling?
Can I get some RO water? And I'm like, RO water? Is that a new brand?
Reverse osmosis.
Reverse osmosis,
reverse, yes.
right? You're like, oh my God, are these people, they're never gonna, if you don't get, sick sometimes or drink, something, you've got to build up. Anyway, I know, I'm probably crazy, but
No, it's
it just
good.
seemed really unusual that they would have 6 kinds of water for you to pick from,
Absolutely,
at
that's
the
too
dinner
much.
table. Yeah, too
Our
much.
brain can't think of all the, that's
Oh,
just too much.
Yes, absolutely. So what is it? What are some of the techniques that you teach people or share with people to get them to slow down?
Meditation.
Okay.
Meditation is like the biggest one. And actually, it doesn't even have to be meditation. Some are afraid of meditation, so I guide them through it their first time so they understand how it works and they can feel a little bit more comfortable with doing it even on their own. However, it's not for everybody, and that's okay, because meditation, there's so many different forms of meditation. There's meditation where you're just breathing. You're just doing the breathing, the breath work. The breath work already calms and slows your mind, your heart, and everything.
Oh, ready?
Yep.
Ha breathing. Remember that?
I do,
Yeah.
yes.
Andy Rodriguez in Hawaii. That's ha breathing, and we learned that on our cruise, our mastermind. So not just breathing, but you said there's actually meditation you can do while you're driving.
I did, yes. So for me, I like to meditate throughout the day. I don't just have a specific, I do meditate every morning. That needs to be the first part. Like after my workout, I do my meditation, and then I get to work because it helps keep me motivated, helps me like slow my mind down so that I can actually be productive and not have the busy work. And then after I do my meditation throughout the day, when you start to have certain emotions, emotions are okay. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to feel stressed as long as you don't hold on to them. And that's something that I promote and teach too, is don't hold on to that stress or that worry or any of like that. It's okay to see it and know it's there and feel it, but then it's good to breathe it out and let it go. So when I start feeling a lot of that, especially like driving sometimes, there's a lot of drivers who are like, what are you thinking? Oh my gosh. And that's what you want to say, but instead of doing that anymore, I've brought myself to, I go to a meditative state where I'm still driving. I'm very focused, and in fact, slowing my breath down and calming my mind and quieting my mind, I'm able to focus better.
It's funny you said that.
Did you hear that?
Well, not only did I hear it, but did you read that there have been like 800 road rage incidents so far in Dallas this year? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's becoming Houston, traffic-wise.
Becoming Houston, yeah. Well,
Yes.
perhaps, but it's just crazy to think and we all know that guns. It's
You don't want to honk at a car that's over 12 years old, I'll tell you that.
Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, my
Oh, okay.
good buddy of mine, a lawyer,
Yeah.
said, if you're driving around town, if you see a car that's over 12 years old and they cut you off, or they see, you see a car with license plates that are paper,
Yeah.
you avoid that situation at all costs and move
Gotcha.
on. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
I'll take his word on that.
Right.
Right. So we're going to get back to this because it's such an important topic, but I want you to go ahead and share with us the other podcast that you're involved in.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the radio station that I'm on, radio/podcast, we're live too, but it's Joco Community Radio. So on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, we do Joco Vibes, where we talk about all things Johnson County. And we have special guests come on from different businesses, local businesses from around Johnson County, to where they can, talk about their different events that they have going on. Or, sometimes it's just me, Nona, and Tiffany just chatting it up and laughing and having a good time. And a lot of people just like to listen to that too in our community. So I feel like bringing laughter, bringing awesome events that are going on around your community and being a part of that is huge. You should always try to, instead of thinking negatively about your community, go out in your community, get to know your community, get to know the people that are on your get to know your chamber members, get to know who's on the, oh my gosh, I can't think of what it's called. What is it called?
The economic development people?
Well, no,
or the Chamber of Commerce?
Chamber, and then there's the govern, like the politics, the politician.
Sure.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
have that too. So get to know them, get to know who's on your side, who's there for you and for your community.
Sure. We had a couple of guests on who were pretty good at that about a month and a half ago, Levi and Travis.
Yeah.
They built a huge business. I don't know, what was their numbers? It was insane. The first year they did $1.5 million in GCI. These guys are fairly new to the real estate business, but just following that strategy, they do. But theirs is primarily video, and they're out in the field a lot. They actually have a videographer that they take out into the field and do that. So that's a great way to get involved in your community and build a sphere. And we're going to talk more about your real estate business and how this all comes together. And so you've got now the shows that you do, the Joco, how many, let's see, what have we covered so far? We've covered
Positivity Toolbox, Joco Vibes, there's Real Estate Reality, which is on Wednesdays.
That's the one that, can I get invited to that
I
one
would
sometime?
love to have you on there.
All
I would
right.
love, we're going to
Yes.
schedule that
Yeah.
before
Okay.
we're done here. Before I leave.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, and what do you talk about on real estate, I guess, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All things or?
Yeah, all things. I have special guests on there. I have different companies that are also tied into real estate. So I want to just give a knowledge base to the consumers as well as other agents, brokers, whoever wants to listen to it that is inside the real estate realm and wants to just learn more about it or learn more about some of the communities or the local businesses that we have in our communities that do that kind of work, right? So I'm trying to bring that to the table too. So where anybody that's listening, buyers or sellers, or even again other agents, now they can hear from that person, get to know that person on a different level, right? So if they do construction work, whether they do roofing, I've had roofers on. I love having my roofing companies on. They're just awesome. They're such a blast. And I've had Tex Inspect. I've had them on the radio show. I've had Candy from Candy's Dirt on the show
you have?
a couple times. Yes, she's been awesome. I love having her on there. We really dig into what she does journaling wise, in her journalism in real estate, and we also get into just real estate in general. So
Right, Candy
all
was
things.
Candy was one of our co-sponsors on the Next Gen Luxury Symposium that we did with Josh Altman, and she actually moderated the panel of luxury agents that we had on there. We know Candy very
Yeah.
well. Yeah,
I like her
she's
so much.
quite a pistol, I'll tell you. Yeah.
she's so much fun to have a conversation with.
Yes.
I love
yes.
it.
Now, one thing we haven't talked about yet, and this is also I find fascinating, is that you've been really involved in the girls' their young lives and helping them accomplish some great things.
Yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
I would love to. So I am the local director and owner of Miss Johnson County Miss Chisholm Trail, which is a prelim of Miss Texas and Miss America. So our title holder girls get to go to Miss Texas and compete. And if they get Miss Texas, then I and them get to go to Miss America.
Nice.
So I have a great group of 4 girls right now. I have a Miss and a teen on both for Miss Johnson County and Miss Chisholm Trail. And it's a scholarship organization program. So what we do is we get the girls out into the community. They have a social impact that they have put together, which they want to bring awareness to my community so that they're able to, spread whatever awareness that is. If it's about books and learning and reading, because a lot of us, I'm included, we do Audible now, right? Like everything is Audible, it seems, because we're so busy, right?
Not
We're
only
not
Audible,
busy, but productive.
Put on 2x or 1.5x.
Right. It won't even be at normal
So it
speed.
sounds like Mickey
Yeah,
Mouse reading.
it'll be
the-
at
yeah.
2 times the speed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mickey McConaughey, right?
So just trying to get, kids more involved in wanting to read and wanting to open up a book. And so there's different platforms that those young ladies put together to bring awareness. And we go out, we do fundraising events for our organization, but also to build more scholarship opportunities for our young ladies within the community. So we go to different local businesses. They can buy ad pages from our girls. It could be a whole full page, or color, or black and white, whichever they decide to choose, and that goes towards their scholarship
Interesting.
at
Now,
Miss Texas.
how did you get involved in that?
Oh, goodness. Okay, so Aislinn, and she's listening. I know she is. She told me she was going to. Hi, Aislinn.
Hi, Aislinn.
So she is a mom of Alexia Carter, who is she's got an amazing young lady. She's so amazing. She was our former Miss Joshua teen, Miss Joshua teen, and now she's Miss Park City's teen this year. And so she's going to be attending Miss Texas as well. So excited for her. But I met her and her mom when I was an ambassador for Joshua Chamber, for the Chamber. And they were coming, she wanted to be involved in the community. And she was a phenomenal young lady, great singer. Man, that girl has some pipes on her. She can sing so good. The talent part is my favorite, by the way. I just had to say that. I love watching their talents. But what's the best part about it, though, is the growth. So I just kind of followed her. Like they wanted me to help. I taught ballroom years ago, and I did that too. And so I taught ballroom, so they knew I could, and I sing. So I'm also a singer. So I was helping her with her talent, and they wanted me then to go to Miss Texas with her. Well, I'm telling you, I went one time. She wanted me to be there before she was going to do her, start doing her performance, doing her talent. She wanted me to be there, watch her do it one more time, give her any kind of, tidbits or anything that needed to be corrected. And she did great. I was like, you're going to do great. And after that, I stayed the whole week of Miss Texas with them because I loved it.
Oh
I
my
loved
gosh.
meeting these young ladies. They are inspiring. These young ladies are very intelligent young ladies. It's not just about beauty. And that's why we started the radio show on Joco Community Radio called Beyond the Crown. Because it's not just the crown, it's not just the beauty, it's the brains, it's they're getting ready for interview from either jobs or they're getting ready for college interview throughout this whole process as well. So it's really exciting for them.
That is incredible. Yeah.
That's what got me started.
Yeah. So you really, but the things you're doing, you really have a passion for.
Yes, I
Right.
do.
You're not just dabbling as a hobby. This is things that you're really convicted
Yes.
to do,
Yes.
right? And to help other people.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right. So this is, we usually spend the whole time talking about real estate, which we haven't really even talked about because you've got so much going on.
I do.
But let's see if we can go back and kind of tie this in
Yes.
with your real estate business. Now, when you've been in real estate about 4 years now?
I'm getting close. I think I'm on my 4-year mark.
Okay. And should we ask about the
SAE?
ZBond?
Oh, no. If she's continued,
The
have you done your
ZBond.
CE?
Oh, no, yeah,
Oh.
no, that's true. That's right.
Right.
Make sure that 90 hours,
Yeah.
she's already passed that.
Right on.
But that
Zero
zero
moment.
moment of truth
Yeah.
when you you just had an epiphany that real estate's where you needed to be serving people.
Okay.
How did that come about?
Oh, so I was in car sales, and I didn't know how I was going to do in car sales. When my mom and my husband were both like, "You need to just do that. You're great at sales. You're just phenomenal at it. You love people and you love being in front of people and people love you." And they were like, "Go do car sales." So I tried it, and my first 2 weeks, I sold 20 cars.
That was your whole friend
That was
list.
my first 2 weeks.
Oh, no. all of her friends bought a new car.
No, it wasn't.
No.
I was not.
You killed it.
I-
Most people don't sell that much in a month.
Yeah, it was. I didn't even know I could do that. Like, I just, I shocked myself, honestly. I did. And so I was doing the car sales, and I had this realtor that came in that wanted to buy a new vehicle, like a new car. And well, he didn't know if he wanted pre-owned or if he wanted a new one. And so I took him to both, and he was like, "Man, you're really good." I was like, "Well, thanks." And he was like, "You might need to look into real estate." And I was like, "Okay, why? Like, how does it work? Like, tell me about it, okay?" And so he started telling me about it. He started even going, like, with the pay, always throwing the paychecks in there. right? You know,
Right.
this is how much I make, and this is how much time I spend on it. But it does take a lot longer, I feel, in the beginning to get started in real estate.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's okay. I think I did pretty good starting off, but at the same token, so he was talking about it, and I decided, you know what, the car business was great. I loved it. I had so much fun. I just enjoy meeting people and being around people.
Right.
And I want to help them do whatever it is that they need to do. That's kind of like, I think that's my superpower.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's face it, you're going to buy several cars typically before you buy another house. I mean,
Yeah.
most people, and
Yep.
it's significantly more expensive. In fact, it's the largest asset that 90% of people will buy in their lifetime.
Yes.
So it's you really have to be very good and do the right thing by them
Right.
for sure, which, that's building that trust and authority and so forth. So how has what you're doing with your podcasts and your life coaching, how has that impacted your real estate business?
It has just brought more awareness of who I am, I feel, into my community. They are, appreciative of the knowledge base that I've been able to provide them, as well as me knowing these things too. I mean, you want a realtor that, like when I went to Expert Advisory Boot Camp, that was an eye-opening experience, and I wish I had gone my first year to get that done. And I thank you guys so much for that. That was huge for me. But I feel like, understanding that you are the expert, understanding that you do have the knowledge base to be able to provide good, good outcomes to the whole process, right? You get to get them through the process in an expert way, right? And so that's why I feel like,
Well, that's what our team. We
Right.
we're selective about who we bring on the team, obviously, because we have expectations for a very high level of service and delivery for our clients. So you definitely fit the core value match, and your mission with what you want to do to help people is, that's a foundational property that you have to be in real estate, right?
Yes.
Is an attitude of service and because this is not an easy business,
No.
and some people get into it because they see their neighbor pull into their driveway with a brand new Escalade, and it's because they took their first commission check and went and spent it on that, and then automatically they just connect a real estate license with this big money tree in their front yard where money falls down, and it just doesn't work that way.
No.
What have you found to be some of the biggest challenges in real estate
Ooh,
so far for you?
I think when the market shifted recently, this has been a really different experience, I feel, in what we've gone through. Like, so when COVID hit, oh my gosh, it was like that. And before COVID hit, though, I was doing really well. Like I was still trying to get at least, my goals are always 3 to 5 transactions to close a month. And that's what I wanted to continue. And so, but even I know, like, there are certain months, where, kind of people are busy, like Christmas, holidays, there's all those things that happen for all businesses, except for if you're in the
funeral business or the tax business, right? Those are all the time.
Right, yes.
Plumbers,
Or
yeah.
commercial, like stores, purchasing items and stuff like that.
Sure.
So those are always pretty busy. But anyway, sorry, I think I rambled off. But yeah, just finding out here recently that you have to put forth the work again, because when COVID hit, it was a lot less that you had to do in order to gain that client base. And now still surviving with the referrals is great, but you still want to get and gain new business. So I feel like that is definitely something that I'm working on right now.
Yeah,
That's been
so-
struggling.
So this, and you've had your license 4 years. You
Yes.
haven't really been through a down cycle. It's been pretty much, even COVID, you can't really consider that a down cycle. That's when things
That
went
was up.
bonkers.
Oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
so busy during
Yeah.
COVID. It was ridiculous.
Right. And then you were having to do video showings, virtual showings.
Yes.
And that kind of thing. Remember the gloves?
I used to have to wear
booties?
gloves, booties,
Yeah.
masks.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
Good. Right. Almost a hazmat.
one
suit.
family in
Right.
at a time kind of deal, and you got like lines of folks that were
Yeah,
outside.
I mean, it was hard.
made it hard
Yeah.
with
But-
going from showing to
but
showing.
that was the
you know?
the hard part wasn't the prospecting and lead gen and lead conversion. It was just showing the houses and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now we have a new problem, which is the universe of buyers is way down, and
Yes.
we have to really work harder to get those buyers. But
Right, absolutely.
you're doing a great job, and welcome to your first business cycle in the real estate business. But
Yes.
I promise you, when you get through this, you're going to come out so much stronger and such a better agent that you won't have to worry about the next time when one of these comes your way.
Yes.
Because you'll master it, and it'll be nothing to it, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like a great agent, regardless of the market's always going to do well,
Yes.
right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I mean by a great agent is someone who's consistent and, driven to go out there and do the business. So,
Yeah, somebody who's in it for the right reasons
Right.
too.
Yes,
Right,
yes.
not just for a quick buck. I mean,
Right.
it's you've got to make a career, and
It's
it's
a
a
long
commitment.
term,
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
long-term play.
Yeah, 'cause
And
one of
be-
my favorite things is just taking buyers in and looking at the houses, and I've been doing, like, I have no construction work because of my husband, so I know signs and things to look for. Not that I tell them I'm the expert, because I'm not. I just say, hey, we might want to have them look into this.
Right.
Is always what I say.
Yes.
But hey, that's a sign, it's an indicator. Let's find out a little bit more on that. Let's look at the seller disclosure. But I love doing those kinds of things because it's educating, and I feel like I just love educating others on what to look for, how to look for it, how to go about it.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, and you were a 5-star, 6-star, 6 out of 5 agent, and we're just really excited that you're part of our group, and the impact that you're having on your community is amazing. You've got such a great heart, and it's really a pleasure to be friends and partners with you in your real estate business.
Thank
It's
you.
awesome.
I'm
Is there
happy to be
anything-
here.
Yeah. C3, did you have anything you wanted to ask Diana?
We covered quite a bit.
We did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And tell us about your family real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have 3 kids, 2 boys and a daughter, and my husband, and we are a blended
You
family.
mean 4 kids?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
No. Just kidding. Sorry.
Oh, you're
Mr.
right.
Roberts, I
You're
take
right.
it back. You were in the Navy. I completely take that back.
Oh, it's okay. He leaves his clothes on the floor. Yeah. It's okay. He knows. But yeah, so we try to spend as much time together, of course, as possible. My husband likes to ride motorcycles, so I love to ride with him. So that's something that he and I do together. My oldest son is about to go into the Navy.
Oh my gosh.
He's-
Following the footsteps.
Yeah, so he's going into nuclear engineer, and he signed up for 8 years to be an officer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know. It's
Is there some-
exciting.
Were you excited?
I am
saw that.
excited.
You look like there's no fear.
No.
No, it's all excitement. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
because this is his journey.
Yeah.
This is his life journey, not mine. So
Right.
I just need to be supportive and love him and be happy for him,
Yeah.
no matter what but any of my kids do.
Yeah.
Just go live your life.
Not only is she a great agent, great podcaster,
Wow.
a great wife, great mom. What
I'm gonna
else?
have my moments.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
No, but I like that.
Progressive.
Right.
I'm
You're
progressive.
allowing them to, you're facilitating a positive environment so that they can go out there and do that. I think that's important for parents to kind of take and learn from is, encouraging them to do what they want and be there to support them regardless of what money they're going to make or what they're going to do. Because they're going to obviously leave an impact somehow. So
Oh yeah.
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 they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to find their
And
passion.
he's a lot like me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
you
so
gotta
much like me.
It's important to find the passion within that though too.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I agree.
We are just about out of time, but Diana, if somebody wanted to has a question, they want to reach out to you directly, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
So an email? I mean, I don't.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So.
Instagram, email, whatever.
Yeah, you can on any of my social media platforms. I'm Diana Roberts, really on everything. I just have one Instagram page that's called Lady Diana, and that's more of my life coaching.
Okay.
I like to be called Lady Diana. I
That's a
guess
good one.
it is, right?
Yeah.
And then you can also email me. We can even, if we can drop it on there too.
Sure,
I'll
yeah.
put my
we can-
email on there.
Yeah,
and
we can go in after the show and drop it in for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely,
Well,
that'd
just
be
tell us
great.
what it is,
Oh, yes.
and then we'll put it in there.
So I have, probably the best one to send it to is going to be the D Roberts Joco, JOCO @outlook.com.
Okay.
Yes.
D Roberts.
D Roberts Joco,
JOCO
JOCO
@outlook.com.
@outlook.com.
Great. Well, it's
Yes.
been so awesome to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're so proud of you and everything you're doing.
I appreciate that.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, reach out to Diana and Give her a shout. Say hi. I'm sure she'll be happy to talk with you about whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah,
C3,
absolutely.
good to be back home, huh?
Oui.
Yes,
Yes,
Cyril.
Lucille.
It is.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Love it.
Yeah.
We brought the weather with us, apparently.
I think we might have,
Yeah.
but that's cool. But anyway, we're going to be back in town for a little while till the end of.
We are.
I'll be out, I guess, the end of March, but so that means we'll be back next week. So
Yes.
you guys be sure to tune back in next week for the next episode of Cliff's Notes. All right, folks, tune in to Cliff's Notes every Thursday at 1 o'clock Central for the tips, tricks, and tactics to explode your business. I guarantee it.